see the mental block, sorry. Counselor Purpich, Counselor Rousey,
Here.
Counselor Koivunen,
Here.
Mayor Vasalovich.
Here. Approval of minutes, city council meeting, May 4th. No one has any questions or changes, call for a motion that we approve these minutes.
Move.
Motion made by Purpich, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Koivunen, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item D, approval of tonight's agenda. Jackie, did you have anything to add?
Oh, Mayor, you asked me about the first meeting in June.
Yeah,
That, if
Should
you
we
guys
put
want,
that
if you want
on?
to change that.
or, we go to one meeting a month in the summer, and June 1st is the first Tuesday, so I'll put that as item 11. Maybe we can figure to reschedule that one. We'll call for, anybody else have any changes or additions? I call for a motion that we accept the agenda as it's printed with item 11 added to it. Motion made by Rousey, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Lillis, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. No appointments or presentations. Does anybody from the audience wish to address the council at this time? Otherwise, we allow some more time at the end of the meeting. If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Approval of payroll, April 16th through the 30th. Number 2, employment status change from probationary to regular for Scott Lozing, and Lifelink 3 collaboration agreement. Anybody have any questions on any of those items?
That Lifelink, that's the helicopter that flies in and out, and I don't understand who Ground Co is.
So Lifelink is based out of Hibbing, and North Memorial Air Care is based out of our airport. And this is just an agreement with Lifelink where if they have to come and pick up a patient, they remit the amount of money to us. And then with North, there's not an agreement, there's just an invoice we send them.
Yeah, I asked that one myself because we were operating for so long, because with the two services, they seem to interact very well because of the distances in the area here when they get a call. Like they have to go up to the falls, somebody's out of commission for a while, so you had the other one to cover. So it actually works out pretty good. Anybody else have any questions on any of the items? If not, the call for a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
So.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Rousey, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. At this point, I will suspend the regular council meeting to be reconvened after the public hearing. And now I will open a public hearing to hear and receive evidence and information that property located at 1104 McKinley Avenue is a nuisance and constitute a hazardous and unsafe condition that poses a danger to health, safety, and welfare of neighboring property owners, residents, and the citizens of Eveleth. Public hearing is now called to order. I don't know if anybody knows that property, and it's what the neighbors had to put up there with for quite some time. And I know we've made numerous attempts. I know they've been cited by the police department. I know, Mitch, you made many attempts to try to contact who the owners would be if you can never figure that out. But there's no utilities on there, and I think, Jerry, they've been off for a number of years, haven't they?
Quite a while.
And I've had a few of the neighbors come talk to me and wanting to do something about it, but they're afraid of the repercussion of what it's gonna happen, so we're not gonna say who they are. But, for somebody to go bathroom in a 5-gallon bucket and throw out the yard at nighttime, I mean, the neighbors shouldn't have to live with this. And I don't know how many calls they've gotten up there for the police department, and it's just, it's my favorite word, it's a shithole. And something's gotta be done with it, and this is our action to take care of it. And I don't see anybody up here trying to talk us out of it, so.
Right, Mayor and Council, so what we'll do here is I have, since this is basically like an evidentiary hearing, to take some evidence and some information regarding the property and how big of a problem it's been up in that area of the city. And then, so we'll present some information to you. It'll be primarily, Chief Lindy has, information obviously that the police department has gathered over the years. When he told me yesterday the number of calls that they've had there, when they've had to respond to incidents there or issues there, it's an amazing large number as far as how often law enforcement has had to respond to that specific location. So what we'll do is we'll present some factual information to you, some evidence. I prepared some what are basically called findings of fact and conclusions, and then also an order of abatement that I've made copies for everybody. You can kind of, this is kind of an outline of what we're doing here and the information that we'll present. And then once we've presented the information, we close the hearing, we'll have you adopt these findings, a conclusion and ordering the city staff to carry out what needs to be done out there to basically abate the nuisance and abate the hazardous conditions. So I'll just pass these out, you can just kind of follow along. Obviously, when you get to the point of adopting these findings, if you see anything based upon the evidence that we're submitting, if you see anything that you want to have revised or amended in these findings, we can do that tonight, but these proposed findings will be a good start. So, and then I think what I'll do first is we'll just have Chief Lindy kind of give an overview of, with the police department, it's two things. It's the blight, because this property has been the subject of numerous blight citations over the years, and then it's also the fact that this location has been the subject of numerous calls of law enforcement service, and it's a place of known drug trafficking and drug activity. So that's going to be primarily what the chief will present.
These are all for that one address. These are all for that one address?
Yeah,
Yeah, and this goes back to 2008, Mayor and Councilors.
Wow.
it is 2.5 pages.
And there's more, we just have to go back in our old system. So we've had 136 police calls at that property. That's a lot. Everything from blight, you can see in there, it goes right here. Civil issues, a lot of the civil issues that we've been having there for the last couple of years is people that are claiming to live there, when we know they don't live there. There are two people who are claiming they own the property. They can't show proof that they own the property. So that's where the civil issues are coming in. They're trying to bore up the doors, trying to keep these tenants out, if you will. Disturbances, overdoses. We've had 2 overdoses there. One where somebody did pass away 2 days later. Our guys are just down there today, dealing with some stuff. The last call we were down there was May 8th. We had a loud noise complaint. We're running a generator in the garage. Power things are in the house. So they have no power there, but we're running a generator. Which is just it's a quiet generator, but some of the neighbors are hearing. Now with summer, we've got the windows open, so we hear over. This past winter for heat, they were burning wood. They're going to put the over in. That's what we're using for heat. In the back, there are some pictures. Those are from today. That's the current condition of the property. So what you see there is what was taken this morning. There are the tires, there's engine parts, the whole grill. You see behind the house, there's a little shed back there. That's where they're keeping the generator. The old couch back there. You can see a lot of the large chunks of wood that they're using.
Is there any children in there?
In the years past, there has been. Yeah, we removed children out there, social services. Currently, I believe there's only one person staying there now. He's currently ill, so as of today, nobody's living with 5.
So he's got lights.
And so and one of the things too on the numerous blight citations, so this has been, a continual effort on the part of the city government to try to use the blight enforcement process to get the property cleaned up with absolutely no success. I mean, maybe things get cleaned up a little bit, but the property is continually in a state of complete disrepair. And then as far as a couple of things that the chief mentioned, you know, we have a situation here where, as far as it being a health and safety hazard, it's really not a structure that should be inhabited by people. There's no electric service in the building, like, you know, they're running a generator, they've basically tried to heat the thing with wood in the winter time. They have no electric utility service providing electricity there. They have no running water in the building, so there's no really efficient way to dispose of human waste.
Has anybody asked them how they're going to the bathroom? I mean, if somebody's living in a place,
Well,
how
they
are
might
you
be-
going, you know, I'm not gonna say that I watched you dumped it.
Right.
I wanna know how you're going to the bathroom. And if you can tell me,
Unless they're applying water and then you're using the toilet and dumping water.
Well, that's still
in the
illegal.
Toilet in bowl, but, you know, but there's no running water in the building. So, you know, the police department has, you know, really tried to, you know, we use the blight enforcement process, but obviously that, the blighted condition and the fact that the building is in a complete state of disrepair, it's been that way for a number of years now, and it's not gonna get any better. And frankly, as I pointed out in the finding of fact, the building is not fit for human habitation.
You know, there's all these criminal things going on there. Aren't the people liable for some of that who supposedly are letting these squatters go in there? They're making no attempt to get them out, looks like to me. Because I'm sure if they went up there with the police department, they could secure that building, period. But I don't see anything, and for the resources we expended through the years, do we have any civil action against them to recoup some of this cost?
I mean, you have action through the blight enforcement process, but other than that, no, you wouldn't have any, you know, available civil action.
Because when you look at 2.5 pages, when they've got to go up there to do something, that's something else they can't do. You know what I mean? Wasting time up there with these characters.
I always hate to say it, but can't we just take the building and knock it down? Is it an endemic domain or something? I mean, nobody's doing anything about this.
What we're gonna
And the
do
neighbors
is,
are,
part of this proceeding is what we're gonna do is what you're ordering here based upon the record that's being presented is you're gonna order, as far as abating this nuisance and the hazardous condition, what you're gonna be ordering tonight, if you approve the findings of fact and conclusions and order, you're gonna be ordering, the police department and the public works department to first of all, make sure that there's nobody squatting in there anymore and that they be removed. But more importantly, that the structure be immediately secured. That means any and all doors will be padlocked, and then we're gonna board up the building. So they're gonna board up the doors, they're gonna board up the windows, because what we don't want is we don't want any more squatters living in there. And then as far as the building itself, what we're gonna try to do is work with the current contract for deed holder who really doesn't have official ownership of the property by deed, but we're gonna see if we can work with him to basically have him just deed the property to the city. We'll try to deal with the title issues and then just, you know, we can bulldoze the building. But the main thing that we're doing tonight is to get the facility secured so that nobody's squatting there, nobody's living there. We don't have people living in a structure that's not fit to be lived in. And then we also, since we're gonna be basically making it impossible for anybody to be entering the house or using it, hopefully that will eliminate the criminal activity that's been out there as well. So we're basically taking control of the property to secure the property so that it can't be used by, you know, the people who've been using it to try to live there and with the related criminal activity that's been.
Have they had animals up there too, chief?
In the years past, yeah, we've had like loose dogs and stuff, so. As of right now, though, I don't believe.
I just get frustrated because you have some good neighbors around there and they have to put up with this type of crap. And again, it takes forever to do everything, but you know, we're going the right way about this. I just want everybody to realize that, you know, that they're watching this, that it takes time but we're going after it, and we want the neighbors to be assured that something is gonna be done.
Well, I apologize to the residents that
Yeah.
it takes so long to get to the point we're
Yeah.
at now. Because of what they had to endure there, because, I'll tell you what, I sure wouldn't want those characters next to me.
There was this many calls.
No,
I mean, that's
it's just-
ridiculous.
Well, what does an average police call cost you? Add that up.
You know, it's, you guys got better things to do than worry about an old house in town.
And things, seems to me, I sympathize with the
Yeah.
neighbors because they had
Oh,
to wait so long, but in the way the current things are going, it's probably gonna take longer from now on. Everybody has their rights, everybody has.
But if we padlock it up, then nobody will be in there.
Right, that's
You
what we
know,
want to make sure,
hopefully.
and the timing is good too, because, you know, whoever was squatting there before is apparently incarcerated, so we can get in there and basically get it boarded up.
I was gonna say it now, I'm trying to call.
So technically, we're paying for his room and board yet.
And like I said, he got lights now.
The house was contract for me, and that's the guy that was paying the taxes.
Yeah, so basically, Mike Saylor had bought the property on a contract for deed, from Dorothy Shambo, and I think he might have paid off the contract, but unfortunately, she passed away before he could ever get her, because, you know, when you pay off a contract for deed, the final end of that is that the prior owner gives a final deed to the new owner who's paid off the contract. And unfortunately, the prior owner passed away before Mike Saylor could actually get a deed from her, so officially turned the property over into his title and in his name. And then she passed away, so he still is, I think, basically the person who's identified as the owner on the property. But when you look at the chain of title of the real estate, he doesn't actually have a deed that was ever given to him. So, that's one of the things we're gonna explore with him, is to have him give us a deed, and then we can probably, pursue, you know, an action and fight the title to the property, and we'll sort out that. But, and I think he has been interested in, I think in the past, he's indicated an interest in selling the property to the city for a small amount. But the issue is the title work, and trying to track down the living heirs of the prior owner to see what can be done there.
A question for the chief. With regard to past blight violations, and kind of goes along with your admonishment to the public on how, you know, how long a period of time that these things take, would it be fair to say that on past blight violations, you really didn't get anywhere legally with the homeowner or the tenants of that property?
Right, I mean, a lot of times when we issue a blight order, they have 10 days to correct the problem, and we work with homeowners all the time. We ask for an extension, we give extension. And I know down here, I've been personally on some of these blight complaints, where they do issue a ticket, maybe they do come in compliance now. You know, I see a lot of times, they need a ticket, parents are attention, for compliance. So then we dismiss the citation, and maybe 2 months later, we're back in the same process again, so it starts all over.
Yeah, and so that is a problem, I suspect citywide. There's been violators that have been, we've used the only enforcement mechanism we have, and usually on numerous occasions. A lot of times it might end up in court, and what might happen in court is the judge may see fit to give some leniency and allow a 90-day period to rectify a problem. Am I correct in saying that? And the cycle just continues. It's like a dog chasing its tail in some respects. You know, there are a lot of homeowners that when they receive that initial notice, am I correct in saying that they will address the problem, and the problem is over with, and the enforcement mechanism worked. But then there are the repeat offenders. And, you know, it seems to me at this point, based on some of the evidence I've seen, that this would clearly be a property that would be a repeat offender. You just don't get anywhere with them. But in the meantime, the clock is running, time is going by, and the problem doesn't get abated, so.
Well, if we can eliminate this problem, I think maybe in the future, people might realize we take this seriously, not let things get to this point. Cause there's a few other properties in town, I know abandoned, have been abandoned for quite some time, that we should probably look at. The heirs and stuff, who knows where they are, you know. They're really, really bad condition, really bad, as bad as this place. But I know, we turned the utilities off for non-payment. Jerry, didn't they have a key and turned them back on?
Numerous times.
Yeah,
And Mayor,
theft.
and on that point, I got two pieces of, additional pieces of information here that I'll pass. So this is just a summary from Chief Coivinon here recently when they addressed the issue of there being no functioning water, service in the building, when they went and looked at that back in February. And confirmed that they don't have any running water in there. And in fact, when there was, somebody mistakenly just temporarily turned the water on when they were out there, and there was water leaking into the basement because everything had broken. I think certain pipes had been frozen and broken in the basement, so they have. So on that, this is just an email that confirms that Public Works was out there and they looked into that and confirming that there is no functioning water service in the building. And then the second thing I have is just that this is an account memo that Jackie put together, just as far as the utility services out there. It's kind of a timeline. And what I want you to focus on is on the bottom of the first page, where Jennifer Eckert, who is associated with Mike Saylor, the prior owner, confirmed that she has not signed any paper authorizing anyone to be in the house. And that there was this issue with the owners having squatters living in there who were living in the house who weren't supposed to be there. And then they were trying to turn the water on illegally. And so this is confirmation on that. It's an entry from back on October 24th of 2018, where Jennifer Eckert is confirming that they really haven't authorized anybody to actually be in the house. So that confirms that the people who have been staying there are basically squatters, which means they're people who are there without any real legal right or legal authority to actually be in the house. So that's just another piece of information to confirm that, these are squatters and they're, living in a house that they shouldn't be living in that's not fit for habitation.
Well, most of these squatters are from out of the area. How do they find out about a place like this where they can come and go as they please? That's my question.
So I think that, that's basically, I don't know if Jerry has anything to add, but, those are the materials we wanted to present that I think support the findings and conclusions that are in that document I passed over earlier. I don't know if Jerry wants to add anything or not, but I think that's kind of what we have here. It's clearly a hazardous and unsafe situation out there, and it's obviously a very significant nuisance for neighboring property owners. And I think the council within its authority to declare it as such and to order that the property needs to be immediately secured.
Anybody else have anything to add in this hearing?
I'd just like to note for the record that it appears that there is no one here from the opposing side or to answer this matter.
Oh, and that's Councilman Willis, that raises a very good point. So we're clear here on the public record that these folks were served with notice of this. So the notice of hearing, we actually had a formal notice of hearing of this. So they were, there was an effort to serve them with that notice as far as the squatters who were living there, and also the last known addresses that we have of anybody who may claim an ownership interest in the property as well. So there was proper service of a notice of hearing sent to those folks where they would have been given advance notice of this hearing tonight and would have had the opportunity to appear and state their case. So obviously, we don't have anybody here opposing what the city wants to do here.
Well, if there is no other comment, I will adjourn the public hearing. Oh, yes, Tony.
Something for the property, was the number of calls that you guys see that Chief printed off
probably not even close to what every officer in town has their gig. I work a lot of narcotics, so I watch that house a lot. And a lot of neighbors have asked me personally to do extra patrol on countless times, and I'm probably not, and I know for sure I'm not dealing with them. So the call volume is probably a lot higher if everything was actually documented.
Well, it's obviously, you out there on patrol know what's going on there, really. Like you say, the gravity of the situation. Because it's bad, you know what I mean? And it's not a good use of your time to keep going back and back and back. Everybody, you know, it's not fair to the citizens in the community to be the problem here that just won't go away, but hopefully now it's gonna go away. I hate to say it, but there's not much land in Eveleth. There's a lot of people looking for lots to put up a garage. You get a new building there that's clean, take care of the property, and, you know, and it adds something to the neighborhood. But those people have put up with this for a long time. It's sad how long it takes to do something, but I think now we're at the boiling point here. Anything else to add? Thank you, Officer Goulet, for that input, because that's what it takes to make this happen. Well, then I will adjourn the public hearing, and I'm gonna reconvene the city council meeting. Under unfinished business, we don't have any. New business, J1, action to declare property located at 1104 McKinley Avenue a nuisance, health, and safety hazard in order that these conditions immediately be abated. Now, Mitch, these findings you gave us, is this included in this
Yeah, so
action?
that's what you would do here, is
Okay.
you would, if these are in order, you would, and I think we have an evidentiary record before the council to adopt
Yep.
these, so the action you would take here would be to basically formally adopt these findings. And, if you look at the last page, that's the action that you would be taking, somebody to, make a motion to approve this document. And then, you know, if you want to just focus on the order, which is on page 3 and 4, requiring any individuals who are occupying the subject property to immediately vacate and to be removed, immediately secure any and all buildings, padlocking all doors, boarding up all doors and windows so as to prevent any individuals from being able to enter into the buildings, and then removing and abating any other blight or hazardous conditions existing on the property, taking any other steps or measures to adequately clean up and secure the property. So
Is this all,
basically just, you know, basically having our city staff go ahead and make sure that that's taken care of.
if we approve item 1, does that include all this?
Yeah, so just,
Okay.
yeah, that includes all that, yep.
Perfect.
So moved, Mayor.
Motion made by Councilor Lillis. Do we have a support?
I'll support.
Support by Koivunen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 2, Carter Circle lots building requirements. Okay,
Well, so we've had some discussions about requests, somebody wanted to build just a garage, and I thought to myself, I think it's probably prudent, you folks had previously set a price for those lots, that maybe you say that the intent is to have a house and a garage, whether it be an attached or a detached garage. So that when somebody asks me, I can say, nope, the city council's taking action, you want home and garage on that site, on each lot.
are those lots listed now?
Actually, Alan and I just talked about that today. We were responding to some questions from a realtor. And so I had a realtor in mind, but I'm probably going to move on to another realtor. And if that doesn't work out, then we'll list them ourselves and do signage and stuff on our website.
Because I noticed like 3-4 vehicles, I mean, people getting out, looking at the property there and stuff, and I'm just wondering if it got listed.
The realtor was there yesterday too, so you might have seen him roaming around, so.
Yeah, last few days, people, getting out of their cars, walking around the property looking,
So
so.
that's our goal, is to get that in the short term. I
Okay.
think it's a good idea, if you so choose, to indicate that you want a house with a garage on each lot.
Yes, I think so. Because I know there's a lot of people who just like to build a garage, and like this property we're dealing with, it's ideal for a house or a garage.
So are you recommending we go with a minimum value
Well,
as
that's why.
opposed to a square footage?
Well, yes, that's why I left it blank, okay? For you to determine, remember that neighborhood, Walton's Morningside, it's got a pretty high land and building value in the community. So I didn't know whether you wanted to assign a minimum value. We all know that houses are pretty these aren't expensive to build.
Yep,
I know that the lots we sold in West Eveleth, I'm gonna speculate that most of those properties have a value of at least $200,000, especially now with the price
Wow.
of lumber and stuff. So it's up to you, I just put it in there, food for thought, whether you wanna put a number in there, and the person would write that down on there. We put it in the development agreement, we've been doing like in West Eveleth, we say how long it'll take for you to build the garage or house, and then how long it'll take and what the value is gonna be.
Now, the West Eveleth covenants, is that square footage based, the housing,
Actually,
or the house requirements?
Those covenants are, pretty old, and when you decided to sell the property out there for, some garages and combined lots, we pretty much don't have those covenants to follow, but everybody's house, I did a cruise there, they're pretty nice and they're large.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So do we take any action on this?
Yes, please, and then
Okay.
if you wanna have a minimum value, then you can add that in.
There's only, there's only one dog allowed up.
I was gonna put that in this memo.
That's gotta be in there too.
Yeah. One dog allowed in the neighborhood.
Call for a motion that we approve the Carter Circle lots building requirements.
Also move with the minimum value of the new house and garage be at least 175 or more.
Okay. Do you have support to that motion?
I'll support it.
Support by Purpich. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3, approved name for City of Eveleth and Town of Vale Combined Fire Department. Anybody have any?
As you are aware, Mayor, the Shared Services Committee has been meeting for several months, trying to iron out the relationship between Vale and Eveleth Fire Department, or the merging of the fire departments. And as part of the process, the committee has evaluated naming the new fire department. And they have submitted the final candidate, that being Taconite Ridge Fire District. And that particular name is being brought forward right now for the council's consideration, whether you want to approve it or not approve it as the name for the new fire department. But the reason that this is coming to bear at this point in time is because there is some copyright proceedings, as well as a logo proceeding that have to be firmed up as we go along here. So we need to have the blessings of both the Eveleth City Council and the Vale Town Board to go ahead with, that particular name. Vale has already addressed the issue, and they have approved this name as the name for the new fire department. So that's why I had asked that, I should say, Councilor Rosie and I had asked that this be on the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Well, it's good in a lot of ways, so people know that this is actually moving along,
What this does, Mayor, is that it now opens up the opportunity to go to the public with the name and the concept, and they can start asking questions. The Q&A thing that we went over quite a long time ago, those were already approved, and that can begin that process. And once the public gets more informed and there'll be more talk, because not a lot of people are really on top of this. They don't really know what's going on. And I have to throw this into the red, just on the 90%er. Just because we're naming the department doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's many, many, many obstacles left that we can't, handle. But I just don't want you to think, well, they got a name, they're all different. When we get, started, it's just the process now of being able to become more public awareness and get out to the public and answer their questions. But it's a vital step in the whole process that should be done right around this time. So.
Well, that sounds like a good positive move, to
You
see
didn't
some
let that on my
progress.
I don't know if you wanna ask.
No, maybe later.
Well, if no one has any more discussion, I'll call for a motion that we accept the name recommended for the two
I'll make that
departments.
motion, Mayor.
Motion made by Lillis, do you have a support?
I'll support.
Support by Rousey. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item number 4, Minnesota lawful gambling premise permit application for Eveleth Elks Lodge at Johnny D's 301 Grant Ave. Motion made by Rousey, do we have a support? Support by Purpich, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item number 5, Minnesota lawful gambling premise permit application for Eveleth Elks Lodge at the Rink Sports Bar and Grill, 301 Hattrick Avenue. Do we have a motion to approve this? Motion made by Purpich, do you have a support? Support by Rousey, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Here we go.
Hang on to your wallet, guys, here we go. Jerry's
There we
up. Jerry's up now.
Smiley back.
Consider quotation for 2021 half-ton pickup truck. I suppose there's nothing in stock, Jerry, looks like the way inventories are.
Yeah, nothing in stock, and they're out a little ways, but, if we get it ordered now, we'll probably go soon in September.
And that's for an extended cab, 4x4?
It's a crew cab, it's not the.
Not the four-door, I mean, no, just the,
It has a little door on the
Yeah.
back so you can put stuff in the back.
kinda like Mark's truck. we
Yeah,
got.
exactly.
Oh, okay, that's still a pretty good number for
Yeah,
that
I was
truck,
gonna say, that's a really good number.
yeah.
Yeah, we get good deals.
Anybody have any questions from Jerry? And otherwise, call for a motion that we accept the quotation for this 2021 half-ton pickup.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen, we have a support.
I'll support.
Support by Lillis, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item number 7, consider quotation for a 2022 one-ton chassis cab.
I like how you said we did budget.
Oh, yeah, he's,
You know, you're lathering us up.
He knows how to play it. Good budget this month.
you know,
That's for the two of them.
I've been in the car business too many years to have somebody pull that on me.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody have any questions from Jerry? You're gonna have to order this one too then, eh, Jerry?
Yeah,
Okay.
this will be ordered, and, this will be replacing our 2004 one ton that seen its better day and lost its transmission also.
Do we have a plow on that truck?
No,
Okay,
Is that the water truck?
that's the water utility truck. water
Okay.
sewer truck.
no one has any questions for Jerry, I'll call for a motion that we accept the quotation on this 2022 one-ton chassis cab.
So moved.
Motion made by Rousey, do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Purpich, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Item number 8. Consider quotation for utility service body with crane. Is that the same thing the other one has? That little jib crane on there?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, but we're getting a beefier crane this time because the crane that we had on the old truck would not remove pumps.
Oh,
Out
okay.
of our bigger lift stations.
Yeah.
So now with this crane, we'll be able to get them out and service them. Hopefully that'll save on them going low.
Okay. No one else has any questions? A call for a motion that we consider quotation for utility service body with crane.
So moved.
Motion made by Koivunen, we have a support.
Support.
Support by Purpich. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Man, oh
We saved
man.
all this money, you know.
It don't take long, does it?
Should've looked at this before I came.
Only asking for one more.
Jim, you won't sleep tonight to be tossing and turning.
Money sweats.
I'm gonna see
Money
that
sweats.
42,000. Oh.
Item number 9, request to hire full-time patrol officer. Appoint Ryan Scott, is that Lucy? Luke's, the full-time patrol officer position. Call for a motion that we accept the recommendation of the chief and the safety committee to hire Scott or Ryan as our new patrol officer.
So moved.
Motion made by Lillis, do you have a support?
Support.
Support by Koivunen, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Donation request from 4th of July committee and announced 2021 Grand Marshal. It looks like Bill Lovato will be our Grand Marshal for this year.
Cousin Bill.
Bill, he's an Eveleth original, that's a nice honor, nice choice.
Yes.
Hey, what did we give we didn't give anything to the committee last year?
No, they didn't have the
No, so what do we usually
Festivities.
give?
We, you know,
5,000.
right, we used to get 5,000, a long time ago, and then for many years, we gave 2,500. But there's enough funds in the charitable gambling.
Yeah, they,
I'm wondering if we should kick it up a little bit,
Back at 5,000 originally.
yeah, it was 5,000 originally, and then they were doing financially well, because they dropped it to 2,500.
Yes.
And now with COVID and everything
Yeah.
else, they're asking for 5 again, but, you know, like it says, we get 10,000 people in town. I mean, it's good for all the businesses.
Well, they all took such a beating, that's what I was thinking, we didn't give anything last year. So,
Would 7,500 sound,
well, that,
I don't have a problem.
that's
I
kinda what I'm
think-
thinking, Brian,
I think anything we give extra would help them.
I'm with you on that one.
75.
Well, I think they're not gonna say no, I can guarantee you that.
Well, this is the first time any of us ever remember, we never had a 4th of July in this town,
Yeah.
you know, growing up.
You know, and they do such a great job with the fireworks, and that, John Marcaccini has a lot to do with that, because he buys them all and pays for it, and then he gets a hotter deal on it.
He used to make his own.
Yeah, he used to, years ago.
All I can say is I'm glad we won't have to go through the gymnastics we went through last summer.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that was,
Oh, that was bad.
You know, they all blend together, they all know what they're doing now, and they all do a heck of a lot of work on it, so I think whatever we can offer is, they'll gladly take.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe kick it up some more for these guys, cause we did nothing last year.
I have no problem with that, nobody else does.
Well, then I'll call for a motion that, we donate 7,500 to the 4th of July committee.
so moved.
Motion made by Lillis, are you supporting that,
I'll
Joe?
support that.
Supported by Rosie. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. And item number 11, new business. Now, in the summer, we go to one meeting a month, but June 1st happens to be the first Tuesday. We're wondering if we should change our meeting to give the staff some time to get things ready. Because it's a long month to go from June 1st till July
There's
6th.
five.
Should we, like, go in the middle of July because, or middle of June, because then we have the 4th coming in case there's anything else that's gotta
Well,
come
so
through?
from our perspective.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a Tuesday, we can make it another
Yeah,
night.
So we kinda like the 8th, because we're in a routine, okay,
Okay.
on Tuesdays, and then we probably will have a pay request from Blight, okay? And then it doesn't delay things too long, and Alan's shaking his head yes. And then if we have something that comes up, I can just talk to the mayor and call a special meeting. And then our regular meeting in July will be the 6th,
Okay.
unless you so choose to put that off a day, because everybody will be recovering, but, so I don't know.
Well, that's what I was kinda wondering, we got a long span there, you know?
The 8th works for me, I guess.
You wanna have it at the
Works for
regular
me.
time?
As long as they remember.
That would be good by me.
Okay, June 8th at 5 o'clock. I call for a motion that we reschedule next month's city council meeting to June 8th at 5 PM.
So moved, maybe I'll remember it.
Motion made by Koivunen, do I have a support?
What was July?
July is the 6th.
6th, that's the first Tuesday. Unless we have to change that too, who knows? You have a support by Rosie, I was wondering who's gonna,
Off there for me.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Well, that takes care of new business. Anybody have any board presentations or commission meetings? That anything interesting came up they would like to report on? I know we had the airport authority meeting, and it's been going along pretty smooth. Financially, things have been picking up, and some projects finishing up and closing out on. Things are clicking along pretty good there. Fuel sales, I think, were up again, weren't they, Jackie?
Absolutely.
Doing real well. But that's probably all I've got to add. Anybody else? Brian, you got anything else to bring up?
No, sir.
Jim? John?
It is EMS week this week, so wave to an ambulance crew and tell them good job. We did, I know that because we had presents at the fire hall, and lots of little scissors and stuff. It was very nice.
Oh,
Yeah, it was very appreciative. We appreciate that. Tremendous. But there's no public input. Usually we have the blood pressure change.
Oh, yeah.
Blood hearing speed.
I thought there was something, kind of lacking.
Yeah, it's a amazing thing. That's all I can do to add to the length of the meeting.
We're gonna be on overtime pretty quick. Joe, you have anything to add?
No, I got nothing.
I just have, one thing to say, I'm really glad we all took some action on that property, because like I say, I really feel bad for the neighbors there. And I'd like to thank everybody, city staff and council, attorney for everything, it took a while, but I think we got everything, all our ducks in a row. Maybe can rectify that situation and make it good for everybody involved, including the owners. Get rid of that off their backs. But Jackie, you have anything to add?
I don't think s-
Steph, you got anything to bring up? Jerry?
Just a little update, and Ellen can talk a little bit about it too, but on Garfield Street, as you see, they're working hot and heavy on that. They're up on the top of the block now, and they're about 20 feet deep, so they're taking a little while longer, but they're a good crew and they're working hard, so things are going good right now.
Well, that's a pretty deep one on that second
That's really
block.
deep up on the top of that block, yeah, by Adams. It's amazing.
Find any horseshoes or anything?
I don't know what they found, but I don't know how they could dig that in 1910.
You get some?
It's unbelievable.
Must have had some old steel or steam shovel from the mine digging that one up.
And then it's gonna be on the opposite, on the upper end, the 700 block, you got a lot of rock. So we're gonna be dealing with that once we get up there. The middle blocks hopefully go pretty quick.
We got any residents on that Garfield Street totally that are on a run list that have trouble or?
The whole upper block, the whole 700 block. So they're gonna be insulating all those lines.
Oh, that's what my question, yeah.
Hopefully we can get out of it. I'm hoping. We'll have to watch the temperature of the water out of the faucets. Be nice to get away from that running.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if there's anything we could do to maybe alleviate that problem for everyone.
We're gonna insulate all the lines and, hopefully that'll work.
Okay. Chief, you have anything to add?
Nothing else, thanks, sir.
All right, Alan?
No, progress is good on Garfield right now, so we're looking at setting up, bi-weekly meetings later this week to be the first one, and, just talking through their 2-week look ahead, issues that they foresee coming up, stuff like that. Like I said, we're hoping to maybe get one Thursday this week and kick them off, continue throughout the summer.
That should be probably one of the toughest projects, because that's never been, done before. These other street projects, they've been done, in a relatively near future, so we know what to expect. Mitch, you have anything else?
Nothing more.
After you,
You earned all your money today.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry I was pitching on you earlier. I take half of it back.
Anyone from the audience have anything to add? If not, I will adjourn the meeting. This